All right. So earlier on, I dropped a video very early today, like around 9 o'clock. I dropped a video because my wife came in. I don't know if you guys, anybody in the chat saw that video about Tyrese? Anybody saw that video? If you're you saw that video earlier, just say one. If you didn't, just say two. Let me get some sensors here. If you saw that video I dropped earlier, say one. If you didn't see that video about Tyrese, it was around 9 a.m. New York time in the morning when I dropped it. Anybody saw that video? We're still talking about Tyrese. Can you imagine? I think we're gonna keep talking about him. Tyrese, Yola Doce, Aking, Bishop. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about all of them. Okay. Yeah, and let's see here. Okay. All right. Two. Irene didn't see it. D Love didn't see it. D didn't see it. Natu saw it. Okay. Well, essentially, I'm just gonna play this video and then we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. But today, basically, I've at a idea a little bit. Okay. But you know, results will always tell on you. This is not a court of law, so we're not judging you, but we will tell you what our opinion is. I will tell you, let me stop talking in we before they call me a narcissist. I will tell you what my opinion is, and it's not a judgment. It's just my prediction of what I think is going on, okay? And I get to do that because this is the platform, okay? But I do not just to do its sake, so we can learn from it, and especially when we start telling ourselves, especially when the results start telling on you and the result is showing that I'm right, and I have to tell you that I'm right, you know. Until then, I agree that, you know, your opinion, you're right, you know.
Well, you're right.
But you're right, you know. So there's no need for Shalaye.
You go explain, because no evidence.
Foul Nyash don't open. Yes. So let me go ahead and play that video and then we'll talk about it, shall we?
Please. Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ.
No, let's go back a little bit.
Let's call my wife, please. Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ.
Am I on the radio?
Yes, you are. You're on the radio. Tyrese is calling me a liar. For people that don't know, I stopped talking to Tyrese, and there was a reason why I stopped talking to Tyrese. Not because only did I think he was a bozo and full of ish, but also because of the way that I felt he was talking and conducting business with my wife. Tyrese helped save.
All right, talking and conducting business with my wife. I wonder what he's talking about. What do you think he's talking about? If you watched, not to probably know what we're talking about already, right? But I wonder what he's talking about. You know, Tyrese is a good guy. Okay, it's a good guy. In fact, there's a video that will drop right after this live stream. Make sure you watch it. It says Tyrese is a good guy, but I need you to watch that video too, right? I wonder what we're talking about. But you know, envy, they don't come even pettier than Envy. DJ Envy, let me give you a quick DJ Envy is one of the main hosts of the Breakfast Club, which is radio station, one of the hottest radio station in New York City area. They're also syndicated around the nation. And you know, just a few days ago, Tyrese, who is a singer, you know, Sweet Lady, that song, right? Tyrese was on the show, and Tyrese was like, you know what, I helped your marriage, but I don't feel like you appreciate that. And the DJ Envy is trying to help him, but the coconut head in Tyrese will not listen. So Tyrese kept calling them out. Tyrese got back home. He still did a whole live stream calling them out and crying on live Instagram. And you would think that, you know what, this guy that is shit does not smell. But he really thinks, I really believe that he thinks his shit does not smell. Let me repeat what I just said. I believe that he truly believes that his shit does not smell. Okay, good guys, Mr. Nice guys, they operate like that. The main issue with the way they move is that they are entitled. Okay, they think just because they are good. Oh, by the way, Women also have the same behavior, right? They think just because I'm a good person, then that's all it takes. And the problem is that there is game. You do need game. Yes, as a woman too, you do need to have game. If you don't have game, your results will tell you. Okay, you notice that it's not the result you're getting, that the result you're getting is not what you desire, right? There are some unfortunate situations, but they are minority. That's why they are unfortunate. In majority of the time, we're talking about competence. That's what we're talking about. But of course, people like Tyrese will always cap, right? No, just a good guy. What did OP say? We're gonna call him OP. OP and a Kenny and them. What did he say? Tyrese just a good guy who was taken advantage of by his woman. Let's continue.
Our relationship, when we were going through probably our lowest point and I cheated, Tyrese came in and really helped us and guided us through our relationship, correct?
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
And then we got to a point where we stopped talking to Tyrese. I even blocked Tyrese, and I wanted to box his mouth as I.
All right, so I'm pausing a little bit because I don't want to, break. What do you call them? High Heart Radio are gonna come here and try to slap something. They're stupid. They're stupid like that. Tyrese was there to help them, okay, and they appreciate that. They wrote that in their book, right? What did he do? He showed up with violins and stuff at their house. He sang while DJ Envy was apologizing. DJ Envy, he cheated on his wife. Tyrese is not a cheater. The men that are not cheaters, a lot of you think that the cheaters are your problems. No, the cheaters are clearly cheaters. They are wrong. If you see them, what you need to do is avoid them. But let me guess, you don't avoid them. You're attracted to them. And then you come back here and complain. Right? We're talking about people that are actually in a relationship with you, that are actually trying to do the right thing, but somehow they can't see how they're wrong. Right? So somehow they can't see, okay, not wrong. Okay, remember, we don't talk about right, but they can't see how they are creating undesirable results when it comes to your marriage. That's what we're talking about. People like Envy, they can see clearly I was wrong. No, I let my weakness get the best of me. I cheated. That's easy, right? It's not easy to recover from that, obviously, but what I'm saying is that in terms of identifying what the problem is, that's easy. When it comes to Mr. Nice Guys and good guys, it's an extremely difficult thing. It's an extremely difficult thing to get them to see how they are creating the result that they have. Let's keep going.
I said the other day, and can you explain to the people why we stopped talking to Tyrese?
Let's go.
Well, we stopped talking to Tyrese on two different occasions. Once, many, many years ago, when he did do that amazing thing for us.
Mm-hmm.
He and I became friends, and we were very, very cool, and we spoke often. But for me, it got to a point where it became inappropriate and uncomfortable, where I felt as though...
All right, at this point, your guess is just as good as mine. Can anyone guess, before we continue, anybody want to guess what she's talking about? She said inappropriate, uncomfortable, right? So, yeah, somebody's about to say, that's a Me Too. Is she calling Me Too on this right now? Maybe, but your guess is just as good as mine. I want to know, what do you guys think? Let me see. Yvette, hello Yvette, good to see you, Yvette. He always crying, nonsense and ingredient. Voila. Let's continue. If he doesn't check himself, look inwards and address his situation, then he will continue to repeat this nonsense of goodness. Yep. You can't deny it, but she said uncomfortable. And what's the other word? Inappropriate. Okay. Now, if you've seen what's her name, Gia Casey, that's the wife of DJ Envy. If you've listened to her long enough, she pretty much works in a straight line. She's not like, she will try to protect the situation as long as it's possible, unless you keep throwing yourself under the bus. Then at some point she won't be able to help you anymore, right? And you're gonna see that play a part here as well. Can anybody guess? Mr. Nice Guy. Obviously it's our opinion. It's just our opinion, right? So we can't really just take our words. We're not playing believe all women here, right? We can just take our words, but I want you to just guess. What do you think is going on here? She said inappropriate, not comfortable, right? Somebody's about to, well, she's lying. Maybe she's lying. The way she felt, whatever interaction they had, she found it inappropriate. She found it not comfortable. Guess all that matters? How she feels, right? How she feels is all that matters. When I say matter, somebody's connecting what I said to I'm agreeing with somebody lying. No. I'm saying when things play out, the reality of how things are going to play out, what matters is how people feel. I'm not saying I agree. I don't know what I'm agreeing with yet. How people feel is all that matters with regards to how things play out in relationships, any type of relationships. Okay? And if you don't understand that, yes, the results are consistent. You will continue to collect.
Sorry.
And you will continue to ask, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Because you keep talking about your logical, but you are missing the biggest part of the variable, people's feelings. Anyway, let's continue. Let me see. Chia says, Tyrese, the perfect, excellent, non-cheating self, starting make moves, probably. I wonder. Let's keep going.
Lines were being crossed.
Lines were being
there was
crossed.
Times where I felt like he was extremely demanding of my time and of my attention. Where if I didn't give him my time and my attention, he would get very angry, get very upset. At that time, I didn't feel as though he was going through any mental issues. I didn't feel as though he was facing any mental challenges at that time. I know that he does go through things, and I know that he has been on medication, but at that time I felt as though he was very clear-minded and everything seemed cool. But when I started to feel uncomfortable and you started to feel uncomfortable, we took a step back.
Well, what lines were crossed? Because people would be like, well, what lines did he cross?
I don't really feel comfortable being specific.
Why won't she be specific? She already said he was quite demanding of her time and attention. Your guess is just as good as mine. But it doesn't matter. Here on Men of Prestige, it doesn't matter because feelings is all that matters, and that's what we're discussing. How can you, what did OP and the Kenneth said, how can you detect people's feelings? These are your problems. It's a skill set. You need to learn it. It's a skill set. You see, oftentimes you don't need to know the feeling. You just need to be aware that people have feelings. Just the awareness is half the battle won. That way you slow down, you don't overreact to nonsense that has nothing to do with you. But when you overreact, it's like, no, they're supposed to. You just get stuck in supposed to, right? And then you wonder why you're creating the same result. I'm still wondering, with someone's wife who, listen, time, attention. Whatever she's saying there, we don't know. But it sounds like a big deal.
Because at the same time, I still do have a respect for him. I know that you still do have a respect for him.
That's cap. But let's continue.
I would feel more comfortable just being general and saying that, there was flirting and inappropriate compliments for a woman who's married.
Okay. I respect that.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I don't have respect for him, though, but yeah, no, I get.
Thank you, Envy. He said, I don't have respect for him, though.
And you do it, and I appreciate that. What he did.
How did you?
She was being diplomatic, which is okay.
You see it?
No, I know. I know that everything that's going on right now, and I know that he's being boisterous about it. I haven't been on Instagram in the last 2 weeks because we've been really busy, but you've told me some things, but I haven't really seen it firsthand, so it's not going to affect me the same way it's affecting you because I haven't seen it. But what I can say is that very clear lines were crossed.
Very clear lines were crossed. I mean, gentlemen, listen to this. When you leave an open door for assumptions like that, I want you to know that human beings, especially women, will make assumptions of the worst case scenario. Okay, what is the best case scenario here? He just doesn't know how to let people be when they decide that they don't want to talk. What is the worst case scenario here? He wants a kiss from somebody's wife. At that point, that's already crossing the line to worse, right? But she said clear lines were crossed. I wonder.
Nah, I get it.
So how did you see it, Envy?
There's certain things that you don't say to a man's wife. There's certain things that you don't say to a man's girlfriend. There's certain.
True. I've experienced this before in the past. Okay. Yeah. Somebody that's supposed to be close. Okay. What I can promise you is that I had to assume the worst case scenario and cut that person off completely after my wife told me. Okay. But this is the reality. Okay. This is what the Mr. Good Guy, and the problem with Mr. Good Guys is that they might not use the words. He might come back and say, show me receipts. You know, they're always carrying receipts around. Yeah, weak men always carry receipts around. Okay, that's just what it is. And he might come back and say, there's no proof, no evidence. And then he's now trying to do shalaye with no evidence on his own part, and it's too late. But again, you exposed yourself all along. We were warning you. Coconut head. Remember Kanye West? Coconut head. Coconut head. Calm down. The world does not operate the way you think it does. Relax. I'm telling you so that you don't expose yourself. Right? But no, you must talk. You must speak your truth. Now we have this, at least we can call it allegations. Do you realize that allegations in human brain is the same thing as accusation? It's the same thing as you're guilty already, as far as they're concerned. The only thing is that you won't go to jail. That needs to be tested. Right? That will need to be tested in the courts before you can go to jail. But it's worse, if not worse. Now you have, if you have a reputation, now you have to deal with cleaning that reputation.
Things that you don't say in a flirtatious way. And I told you what he said. You spoke to my wife yesterday, so you know what he said.
So that's why you wanted to box. That's why you said I'll box your mouth.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to box his mouth. It's just certain things you don't play with somebody's wife like that. And
were you upset that he wasn't flirting with you in any way, shape, or form?
A little bit.
Ode. This one's an ode. Whether there's receipt or not, he knows what he did behind closed doors. Listen, when people have to do shalaye over and over and over again, you have to start looking at them sideways. Why are you doing shalaye with no evidence? You're guilty of something. We can't put our fingers on it yet. But this need, this urge to explain. My point is, what is the issue? Now, sadly, some people really don't know the issue. There is issues and there are issues, but some people just don't know.
Now, you see, you're playing too much. But no, when it comes to it, I look at it like this. Tyrese did help save my marriage, and I have a respect for him for that. That's the reason why, instead of going at him, I just let it go. I just not so spoke to him anymore until he starts going up. Now, I don't know if he has a record to sell. He's trying to push his record.
Yeah, is that mixed feelings where you feel like this person was there for me once upon a time, but they've crossed a certain line because of what they did for me, but after they crossed a certain line, you kind of like, I gotta keep my distance. You know someone like that. I know you know someone like that, Yeah.
Or whatever it may be. I just don't like it. And the reason I don't like it is that man was up here. He was in our faces. We had a conversation. After the conversation, we let things go. And it's just always weird when people do that. They go home and now all of a sudden they do other things. We just had a conversation. We was just here for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, because he can't help it. He needs to be right. It's an obsession to be right. Mr. Nice Guys have an obsession with being right, and they create all the wrong results because of that. They don't get any kind of fulfillment from their own moves from inside. They need it to come from the outside, which is why it's not sustainable. So when you leave them alone, after a while they go and retake it, they will come back with additional shalaye, and then there's still no evidence.
Strange.
But I just don't like to be called a liar. And when somebody says, I got receipts, when I'm like, no, you spoke to my wife.
What receipts? What do you mean he said he has receipts? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't want to be put in a position to divulge the things that were said.
Uh-oh.
But if he's calling you a liar, then that's a step that might have to be taken.
Uh-oh.
Because by no stretch of the imagination are you a liar. By no stretch of the imagination are you exaggerating.
See, I keep telling you, everybody's running around town talking about cheating, talking about finances, talking about all that stuff. It doesn't matter. If you and your husband, you and your wife, you're on the same page, unity is secret number one. If you can figure out how to get to being on the same page, right? Meaning no cracks in the wall. Nothing can get in between. It doesn't matter what atrocities you might have committed in the past. It doesn't matter how people might be judging you. It doesn't matter if they see the husband as soft or they see the woman as, oh, she's for the street. Why does she dress like that? All of that doesn't matter. If both people, if they're on the same page, that's all it takes. If you can simplify your work down to, I need to get on the same page with this person. That's why we call it seduction. That's really the point of it. It's a process. It's time. It takes patience. If you just first of all identify what you're looking for, which is unity, and then you find your way down to, you learn how to navigate your way down to, me and my romantic partner, we're on the same page. Guess what everybody else and all the limbs are doing? They want to be right. They want to be holy. They want to walk a straight line where they've never done anything wrong ever before. They are obsessed with being right. It's not sustainable because that's actually not a real thing. Nobody only pass. That's the bottom line. No one is only pass. So if what you're putting all your energy in is to try to be holy, you will fail all the time because you take all your focus off of making sure you're on the same page with your romantic partner. And you're seeing that demonstrate itself in front of you right now. You see how she just came back all the way from, like, you know what, if he's calling you a liar, all right, we're just gonna have to unpack everything then, right? We can still hide some things here and there. We can say, hey, you crossed a very clear line, not blurry line, a clear line, right? Inappropriate, made her uncomfortable, right? The Me Too's are gonna run with this and say, what did Tyrese do?
Exaggerating anything.
Okay.
It was very clear. It was very inappropriate, and your reaction was very appropriate.
And I also want to say, when he said I didn't check on him, how many messages did I send you yesterday where I showed you that I checked on him numerous times?
No, it was on the psych med, so you didn't realize that you checked on him, of course, right?
Sick of y'all. And
I'm just asking.
I'm be honest with you. I'm sick of you,
I'm just
Tyrese.
asking.
And I think y'all are lovers.
You think so?
I do.
Oh, weirdy.
This is what I think this is all about. I think
He's not my type.
I think his next album is about both his exes. Okay, you and his ex-wife.
He's not my type.
I think Beautiful Pain has something to do with you too.
Both his exes. All right, I'm done. Let's leave this story alone. We've got some more stuff to. What time is it? 5:37. Oh, interesting. Okay. We got some more stuff to cover. We have more stuff to cover. I'll be right back. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I beg.